So the fire department came.
Yeah, the fire department just came and pulled me out of an elevator, and I was covered in, like, you know, vent dust. But got myself refreshed. Here we are.
You look incredible.
So do you.
Somewhat traumatic experience.
I think it's great. I have a lot of adrenaline pumping through my body, and I'm here to promote a film, but that doesn't feel that important right now. No, it's the most important thing. But, yeah, that was a thrilling way to start the morning. Yeah. I was already doing the interview. So.
I'm like, did we catch stuff about the firefighters?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for chatting with me. I know that you've already had a day. You've had a day. So
we've had some excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
Canada never disappoints.
No. Did anyone recognize you when that happened? They were like, oh shoot, this is Anakin.
I don't know. I actually don't know, but I do think, like, it's an elevator full of people dressed mostly normal to just go to work, and then I'm in, like, this, like, long dress and heels, and I've got, all, like, the jewelry on. So I either look very, very high maintenance, or they're like, oh, this must be some actress who's here, you know, for the festival to promote. But I asked for a picture with all of the firefighters. Oh. So they're, like, you know, my little celebrities. When someone's pulling you out of a vent, you're very much like, you're going to get a Christmas card every year from now on.
That's how Anna Kendrick does things. Mm-hmm. That's so cute. And then we'll look back at the photos, and I'm sure they'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize what's going on. That's so funny. I'm glad that you're safe and that we're here talking about Alice Darling, this movie. I mean, congratulations. Your
Thank you.
Is singular. It's incredible.
Thank you so much.
I know, of course, it was a difficult storyline, but it was beautiful and honest. I mean, it was honest, and that's what you have to do when you're telling a story. You have to be so honest and open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the movie, like, it was such a small script and such a small film, and, you know, we made it in Canada in, like, this little cottage, and it felt very intimate, and it was kind of all one location, and you know, I was working with mostly Brits and mainly Canadians, and it just felt like this tiny little secret thing we were all making, because it was, you know, very much during COVID, so we were all, like, not seeing anybody outside of the cast and crew. And actually there was a day, the last day of filming, where the other girls and I, Wumi and Ganya Dio and I, were like, we don't know what your faces look like. We've been working with all of you for a month now. And, like, so on, like, the last day of filming, we were going around and making everybody just give us a quick flash of them without a mask. And it was like every person, we were like, oh, so handsome. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. It was like this unveiling.
Like, I didn't know you had facial hair. Very interesting.
I know.
That's really the new type of, I love that. That's such a cute memory to have. How excited are you, or just are you ready for the audience to take this story in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was always a balancing act, kind of this, like, high wire act, this movie, because you're trying to bring the audience into a really private emotional experience. You know, the director Mary Nye and I were always kind of trying to figure out how to balance how much do we show, how much do we leave to the imagination. You know, emotional and psychological abuse is this kind of invisible abuse, and to trust that the audience is coming along with Alice on her journey is a pretty big leap of faith, because self-doubt is such a big part of it. And there were these temptations to have really black and white moments. Mm-hmm. And I think what's been really powerful is that a lot of people have said that for the first half of the movie, maybe even longer, they're sort of going like, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, something's going on, but I can't really pull apart what it is. And I think that's really true of the experience of this kind of thing. And that to set out to give really clear answers in the movie would have done a disservice to the reason we were all kind of doing it.
I mean, I think you guys talk about that too, like the red flags, right? These little moments that are building that you don't realize.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment we saw the hair twirl.
Yeah.
You didn't know what it was, but it's like you see these little gray moments sort of popping out.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so interesting about the film, and that's what drew me to the script, is that you're really trusting that the audience will trust Alice and her experience, even though she doesn't really trust herself. So, the writer, Alana, was obviously drawing from her own experience, and, I talked with her a lot about, that confusing, it's like sort of being, oh God, it's like being underwater. I'm like, there's some underwater stuff in the film. But it's apt because, it is sort of like your senses feel kind of dulled but heightened, and it's a very brave thing, I think, for Alana to have decided to write something that was really internal, because I think that the thing that people end up doing when they're in relationships like this is sort of telling themselves it's not that bad. And so, of course, it's just always teetering on, should we just show a little bit more? Should we just make it a little bit clearer? And, to trust that your experience, your inner experience, is enough evidence is so difficult.
Right, that's the key. I know you spoke openly about how the subject matter hit close home to you. How was this a springboard for recovery?
It's actually funny. I was thinking about the way that we were working. There were times when Mary was like, the director, Mary Nye, was like, you can always sort of give me a signal if you need a break, or, if you are feeling overwhelmed. And it was like a very specifically, like, boundaried set and performance, I guess. There's a scene towards the end that is really uncomfortable. The kind of thing that I'm like, I don't know if my mom and dad are going to watch this one. But it's funny because I think about the movie and, like, I forget that scene is in the movie, and I'm like, was I just in, like, a dissociative fugue state when I was filming that? And it's great because it's not that at all, because it was such a safe set, and it was so, like, okay, we're all being very professional and very boundaried about, like, what's about to happen. And then, like, for 30 to 90 seconds, we're actually in an emotional space where it's real. And then we're kind of just back to, like, okay, if I put my hand here and then I pull my head away there, like, how are we going to choreograph this? So it was, like, actually a remarkably safe and professional experience, which I was very, very grateful for.
To be able to have that space to just...
Yeah, to have, like, the framework of it's still a working environment, and we're talking about things that are really heavy and really emotional, but we don't have to live in that space 24/7 to get there. Like, I'm very much not into, the idea that you have to, like, re-traumatize yourself to get a performance. So it was a really safe place for everybody's artistic process to have what it needed.
And real quick before we wrap, I want to get you on 10 years of Pitch Perfect, which is wildly exciting. What do you remember about your audition?
Oh, yeah. I did I did that cup song for my audition because they really just wanted to make sure that everybody could carry a tune. And up until that point, I hadn't sung anything on camera. So I was like, well, I know how to do this silly thing, so I might as well do it for, my, like, sort of proof of concept singing audition. And then, we ended up putting that in the movie, obviously, because originally it was, my character Becca was supposed to sing I'm a Little Teacup as my audition song. And I still to this day have no idea how that was supposed to play. Like, was it supposed to be really funny, or was I supposed to sing it, like, very well, considering it's I'm a Little Teacup? And I still to this day have never asked the writer Kay Cannon about that. But I thought, I'll do this silly thing and no one will care. And then that became its own weird side project.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you still know because I remember I learned it and I Do not remember.
I feel like it's probably going to be one of those things like riding a bike where I'll still be able to do that until I'm like 80.
People just handing you red Solo cups around the show.
Yeah, that'll be the test if Grandma's still like got it. Can she still do the cup thing?
Grandma still got it. Oh my gosh.